Heidi Astrid Flynn is the HR manager at Accucaps Industries. She also received the HR Challenge Award at this year's HR Summit Awards presented by the HRPA and Canadian HR Reporter. Can you tell us a bit about your role and responsibilities at Accucaps Industries?
Currently, I'm the HR manager in the Strathroy location. Our head office is in Windsor, Ontario, and I partner with the HR team out there. Basically, for the Strathroy operations, I'm responsible for, human capital on a whole. So human resources, recruitment, talent management, organizational development, and as I said, I partner with the HR team to implement those strategies in Strathroy.
What HR challenge were you faced with, and how did you overcome that?
So I was working at TV Works Canada at the time, and that was located in London, Ontario, and we were owned by Comcast Communications. And approximately, I'd say about 2 years ago now, I was notified that they were going to close the London, Ontario office. The biggest challenge was I was working in isolation, and so I reported into Human Resources in the States and basically worked on the closure of the office with the United States office. So I was working in isolation, which was very difficult. And so we had about 130 people, and all of those folks were going to obviously lose their job, and we worked on the closure for about 1.5 years. When we actually gave the notice, we gave about a 3-month notice period till the actual day that the office was going to close. And on the day that we gave the notice, I had an employee come in, and the employee was, highly skilled, very intelligent, well-rounded individual. And he came to me and he said, "I just don't know what to do. I don't know what the next step is." And I had made the assumption, as HR folks, we know what the next step is. You need to get your resume ready. You know what you need to do. And I'd made the assumption that everybody knew what the next step was. So we had 130 people who were, possibly losing their home, their families were going to be affected. So it was very traumatic. One for me, because I'd been working on it for so long, and now knowing that we actually had delivered the notice. So I spent the next 3 months actually bringing programs in-house, where we brought in a life coach, we brought in an image coach, we brought in a couple of the financial institutions to talk to people about what to do with your severance, sort of plan for your future and what to do with your immediate funds. And then we brought in an awful lot of local companies. And I reached out to companies and said, you know what, it looks like from your webpage that you're hiring similar skill sets to what we have internally here. I've got 130 people who are looking for work. We'd like to invite you to come on site. You can do an open house, or you can actually conduct interviews. So as the word started to spread out there, we had almost 2 solid months filled with an employer coming in every single day. At first I was hoping, that we would get one a week, but we had employers from the local area coming in almost every single day. And so that, coupled with the life coach and the image coach and, somebody just to come in and talk about presentation, and it was very rewarding for me because I was so concerned about what was going to happen to them at the end of it. As I said, in HR, it's a little bit different. We know what is required, but knowing that so many people were feeling, a little bit better about the future and they had a little bit more of an advantage was extremely rewarding. So it was nice to be able to give back to the employees.
And how has overcoming that challenge affected you?
Well, I was working individually at the time. I was working remotely with the United States team, and it's interesting. Comcast has over 250,000 employees, and they were actually a little bit awestruck by the programs that we had put in place, and they actually were asking for more details. And I think, if they ever have to go through this again with one of their remote offices, they may use some of those practices. I would think more, though, that it's affected me going forward, and just knowing as HR professionals what we can give back and what we can give back to the employees, because quite often we're focused on being a strategic partner or, participating at the board level or making sure that we're part of the executive team, and all of that is very, very important to our profession. But fundamentally, giving back to the employees is the root of everything that we do. And without the employees, there really is nothing left at the end of the day. So focusing on them was just a main thing for me to do, and that's just given me a lot more awareness going forward. So.